Can we have the report copies on the stage, please? Ladies and gentlemen, that is the Praxis IVCA India Growth Equity Report 2026, giving deep insights into the growth of equity in the country. Can we have a big round of applause to mark the moment at day 2 of IVCA Conclave? You can always reach out to the crew at the registration desk to grab a copy of the reports. We also have QR codes for the reports as standees on each of the tables. You can scan and download the digital report on your phones. Thank you all of you for doing the honors.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. Very excited to unveil the India Growth Equity Report 2026 edition here. Quick overview about Praxis Global Alliance. Private capital practice at Praxis Global Alliance works very closely with financial sponsors across fund strategy, commercial due diligence, ESG diligence, R&D diligence, ODD, IDD, post-acquisition value creation, and vendor diligence. We are present across Asia and Middle East and work globally. We have experience of about 1,500 plus deals globally. So about the methodology and sources of input for the report. So the data here has been taken from our proprietary Praxis Deals AI platform, and we have had conversations with 40 plus LPs and GPs for this report. Want to extend heartfelt thank you to the GPs and the LPs who were involved in making of this report. So overall, 2025 was the second best year ever by deal value and the best year by deal volume. So about 60 billion deal value and 1,885 deal count this year. When it comes to growth equity, the flow has picked momentum with about 10 billion investments in growth equity stage. But the deal count has increased even further. So about 328 deals with 10.2 billion deal value. This has come with a lot of smaller deals, so about 30 million average check size, which is much lower compared to the previous years. When it comes to the private investments landscape in India, we see a very large headroom for growth here, with today only 10% of the companies having private investments. Overall, if we look at the early stage funded companies in this space, about 2.3K companies have got early stage funding in this space over the last 10 years, and they have not gotten their growth round yet. So we see a 70 billion growth equity opportunity in India over the next 3 to 5 years basis this. Now, double-clicking on the growth equity space, about 10.2 billion investment value, primarily coming from BFSI, consumer, business and tech services, and healthcare space. Logistics is also gaining momentum. In terms of investor participation in growth equity, it's growing rapidly. This year, about 600 plus funds were involved in deals. This has also resulted in increased competitive intensity, with about 1.8 funds competing for a deal in India today. Exits from growth equity stage have increased 1.5x over 2024, so about 6.8 billion worth of exits across 74 deals. Now, bulk of it, about 54%, are from public market and IPO space, and BFSI and consumer and retail have the major chunk of it. What's interesting about exits is that PVC-backed growth investment IPO exits constituted about 1/3 of the total IPOs with value of less than $300 million. So about 1/3 of the less than $300 million IPOs were PVC-backed. This number has come down from the highs of 60% in 2023. And going forward for 2026, the GPs expect this number to be range-bound given the global economic scenario and the turmoil. Now we expect the growth equity momentum to continue with about $5.1 billion new funds raised in 2025, contributing to about 30% of the total PEVC fundraising in India in 2025. So 5.1 billion raised across domestic and international funds, top 5 contributing about 3.3 billion out of that. In terms of implications for GPs in selecting high quality assets and getting smarter about their due diligence process, we believe there are 6 key imperatives. So understanding the true market potential, having the nuance of the exact serviceable, addressable market, looking at the differentiation and defensibility of the asset, looking at the modes, having ears on ground, so looking at the stakeholder feedback, understanding the customer feedback, influencer feedback for the company, looking at the execution excellence of the founders, of the leadership team, looking at their track record, going deep with the risk assessment, so looking at AI and technology dislocation risk specifically, looking at regulatory risk, looking at ESG and sustainability risk, and going deep in R&D, new product development, and exports. Then to plan correct exit scenario, going deep in unit economics and helping company create strong and sustainable unit economics to result in better exits. Yep, so in terms of key takeaways, I'll just keep this slide on for 10 seconds. This just recaps the key takeaways which I just went through. You can also download a report from the QR code on the RHS, which will give you access to the full report. And we look forward to getting your thoughts on the report and exchanging notes about the private investments landscape in India. Thanks a lot, everyone, and thank you to the GPs and the LPs which contributed towards this report. Thank you.